This is the Red Barn.
Hello, everyone. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. This is season 19 of Red Barn Radio, and tonight we welcome you to show number 739. Woo. Our staff and our artists so appreciate that you continue to visit the Red Barn Radio YouTube and Twitch channels to enjoy our Wednesday live streams. And this week we bring to Red Barn Radio Mason Colby and Rebecca Rego. Mason was born and raised in the musically rich Gulf Coast, splitting time between Lafayette, Louisiana and Houston, Texas. But it was in Kentucky that he picked up a banjo and started making music in earnest. A founding member of traditional string band the Jarflies, who have also been on Red Barn Radio, Mason has been part of the old-time music scene in Kentucky for over a decade. Originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, recent Lexington transplant, Rebecca Rego has been writing songs and producing music for 15 years. Her 9th studio record, Together, will be released on July 16. The album was written and recorded with her band, The Trainmen, over the course of this past year. We'll begin this evening's program with a set from Rebecca Rego, and we're glad to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. Welcome to Red Barn Radio, Mason Colby and Rebecca Rego.
Sick. Most people never get a reason for it, but it makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Heresy comes from all directions. Mine's eating me alive every morning. I wake up, chest like a flood or the ladder of Jacob. How could I be free? And I don't really trust much of anything. Been led to water to find a dried up spring. Where's the justice in living clean? It's true, it ain't fair. Some get a shiny spoon, and others just have hands. There's fear, love, and greed, and it's all how you see it. Michael, there's a flood of warm and winter. You can take any fruit and make it bitter, but if I could kiss every part of you, I'd make it sweet. Some people are born with a heavy burden. You can choose to ignore it or keep on learning. Wonder if these visions are the future or just dreams. It's true, it ain't fair. Some get a shiny spoon, and others just have hands. There's fear, love, and greed, and it's all how you see it. Oh, Michael, you're right. I don't know if what I'm doing is helping you sink or fly. Oh, Michael, you're right. I don't know if what I'm doing is helping you sink or fly. true. It ain't fair. Some get a shiny spoon, others just have hands. But it's fear, love, and greed, and it's all how you see it. There's fear, love, and greed, and it's all how you see it. There's fear, love, and greed, and it's all how you see it.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Tonight's program features unique sets by two singer-songwriters, Mason Colby and Rebecca Rego. Joining Mason and Rebecca on stage are also an ensemble of some of Kentucky's finest players, Mr. Tom Nato playing all things slide, Mr. Robbie Cosenzo on drums, and Mr. Don Rogers on guitars. We'll kick off tonight's program with some music from Rebecca Rego. And welcome, please, Rebecca Rego to Red Barn Radio.
Thank you. So the last song I did is called Fear, Love, and Greed, and it was from an album I put out about 3 years ago called Speaking of Witches. I do have a new record coming out in the next few weeks here, and that's called Together. This song is called Anywhere You Want, and it is the second track on that album. Wish I had something to give you, but everything I own is a trick. I've been waiting here to tell you this, but I think it might be a mistake. Walk me out to the alley, 2 feet of wind and cold. Never want to be so far away from you, every step like a broken bone. What I say here in the dark has been living in the mountains and caves of my heart. I'm a dry stave, waiting to warm the fire of your heart. Take me anywhere you want. In the patient part of my breathing, I am all out of breath. There's a story you used to read me where we'd forget about death. Pick me up off the sidewalk, carry me into the car. It's everything you could imagine, it's a free and wild new start. What I say here in the dark, it's been living in the mountains and caves of my heart. I'm a dry stave, waiting to warm the fire of your heart. Take me anywhere you want. Lists are all about living, I'm buried up to my neck. I'm still head first here with all this fear, hoping you would come back. What I say here in the dark, it's been living in the mountains and caves of my heart. I'm a dry stave, waiting to warm the fire of your heart. Take me anywhere you want. 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 Okay. Yeah, a lot of these are new ones. And we did record these songs during the pandemic, and I wrote a lot of them during the pandemic as well. And this next song's called Brave on the new album. But there's definitely that vibe on this album, kind of the unknowing. So. Daredevils get in fast cars, jump off tall buildings, waiting for their bones to shatter to get a cigarette break, putting something out of its misery like it was nothing. That's the kind of feeling I can't even fake. Could you be yourself? Do you need my help? It's not too late to be brave. Could you be yourself? Do you need my help? It's not too late. I could understand every crazy plan comes my way. Here in the spring, you don't mean a thing you say. Floating till I fall, it's jealousy in song stays away. Could you be yourself? Do you need my help? It's not too late to be brave. Could you be yourself? Do you need my help? It's not too late. And I can't define why I cry when I see the ocean hit the shoreline, and I get the fuel to keep moving, to keep moving. Would you be yourself? Do you need my help? It's not too late to be brave. Would you be yourself? Do you need my help? It's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. This next song is, it's a little older. About, I guess last November, I put out a bunch of songs based on the writing of a woman named Lucia Berlin, and I think maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more coming up. But this next song is on that album, and it's called Mama. Mama said nothing good ever comes from love. You soak your pillow with tears and smoke 2 cigarettes at once. And she'd write me old suicide notes. Think about me before she go. She disowned law when she moved to Mexico. Wouldn't even let her in when she got sick and came home. There's a story God wrote about us before we could even talk. There's a wind that blows across Texas when I'm driving out here in the dark, and I think about you now. In the ground. She hated to see us grow and do well, have a future and get beautiful. It's sad to say I'm the same way to you. Every action I take's a little jealousy of youth. There's a story God wrote about us before we could even talk. There's a wind that blows across Texas when I'm driving out here in the dark, and I think about you now. In the ground. They put her on a boat when she was just 19. She chain smoked with the captain, laughed and drank gin. She was off then to marry Ed. All the things she could have done if she wasn't run by men. There's a story God wrote about us before we could even talk. There's a wind that blows across Texas when I'm driving out here in the dark, and I think about you now. In the ground.
Well, good evening, folks. So lovely to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. You're listening to Rebecca Rego, and she is with us here tonight, sort of serendipitously. We are glad that she could join us. Rebecca, thanks. Songs are beautiful.
Hi, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
It was really nice going to your website and seeing lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if you've had that experience of listening to music and you're kind of like, wonder what they're singing about, and it's just nice to be able to go there and read some of your tunes.
Yeah, I did that specifically for the Lucia Berlin work because I really, the lyrics are so integral to that project, and just kind of like taking from what her work. It's based on the work of Lucia Berlin, and so I just kind of wanted to like have that reference for people. Yeah,
well, I really wanted to talk about that. Why don't we actually start there, and then we'll sort of work backward into who else you are. So in I guess that was 2020 that you released those songs, or was it 2019 that you released the songs?
It was 2020. So it was in November 2020, kind of during the pandemic, but we did a virtual release for that.
Oh,
for
you
that
did?
Record. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And so tell folks how you became acquainted with Lucia Berlin. And I have to say that this was just sort of uncanny when I read about that, because a colleague of mine at work had been into her her stories a couple of years back and said, "You've got to take this book. It's amazing." And I never got it from her.
Oh.
So anyway,
we
now
gotta get it to you.
Well, I ordered one on Amazon today.
Oh, good.
I ordered a collection of her stories. So tell folks how you were introduced to Lucia.
Yeah, same kind of way. So a friend just sort of sent me the book out of the blue. Basically one morning showed up on my doorstep, this book, and I opened it, and it's like this beautiful bright salmon color, so you're instantly like, what is this book? And I I just love short stories in general. I love to read that
Yeah.
way. It is almost very musical. And I just started pouring through them, and I felt such a deep connection to the work and what she was writing about. She was writing about being like, a blue collar woman working in a lot of different jobs, hospitals, schools, restaurants, things like that, and things that I do in order to support my art. And she was doing the same thing. And also, she was a single mother. I'm not a mother, but she was raising 4 boys on her own. And I just was really drawn to that work. It just seemed so unique to me.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
So then you released an album. How many songs?
It's 6 songs.
Okay, so it was an EP.
An EP.
Yeah,
Yes.
and ask me what it is that I liked about your title song, "Song for Cleaning Women."
What did you like about it?
Oh, funny you should ask. It was the details that you chose, and you got to be selective, right? When you're
Yeah.
writing songs and
Yeah.
poems, and I just love the details that you chose. The idea of the cleaner, moving things a little bit to the left, to give people sort of the impression that she was fastidious and involved in the work. What cleaning people don't care about taking.
Yeah.
I love that. Not getting to be friends with the people you clean for. I mean,
Yeah.
all those things really resonated with me, too, as a guy who cleaned. I worked for a janitorial service for a couple of summers. And I remember a lot of those tricks.
Yeah. It's
But-
like a little show.
Yeah, it was great,
Yeah.
but great detail. Can you talk a little bit about, sort of what it was? You said it was the fact that she lived or wrote about a life that was kind of familiar to you, working a lot of different jobs and whatnot. What was it about her writing style? Was it that sort of those carefully chosen details? What did you like about the way that she wrote, as a singer-songwriter?
I think it is those details. It is also when you kind of dive into her work, it is very musical. She was married to 2 different jazz musicians, and she had a very musical life. And the way the book's been translated now in many different languages, and a lot of people, and it's actually very popular in Spanish. And people say in Spanish it even has more of that musical quality, because she also grew up partially in Chile. So she, a lot of the work references that there's different stories where she references different things in Spanish. But yeah, the stories themselves have that feeling, like a song in a way, where you're listening to the street, and she's talking about all the sounds that are happening on the street and things like that. So I think that's what drew me to it. And one song just came out of nowhere, really. It just one day I sat down to write. I wrote one song about one of the stories, and then I was like, wow, this is a kind of a fun project. And so then I just kind of really dove into it. And I met her children. I kind of connected with her children, and we're still in touch. And I'm still working on 6 more of these songs. So I'm going to keep working on the project. So we're going to keep working on it.
Wow, you
Yeah.
met her kids.
Yeah, I met. She had 4 boys. One of them has passed away, but the 3 other ones, I kind of email with them and talk to them, and they really love the project, and they think it's something that she would have liked too. So yeah.
How did you initially connect with them?
I connected with them through an old student of hers. So I found an old student of hers on Instagram and kind of followed her, and then we connected through Instagram, and then she introduced me to them, and they're just the sweetest. They are so excited. They tell this really interesting story that, she wrote their whole life, and when she died, she was she only had sold a handful of books.
And she died young, 60.
She's
in her 60s.
64. Yeah. And and so when she died, she was saying to them, someday somebody's going to come to you and want to publish these stories. And they were like, "You're crazy, Mom, you're crazy. this is, the work's good, but it's not a thing. And that's what happened. Like in 10 years later, they came to them and said, we want to publish this work. So
Yeah, and like New York Times bestseller.
yeah, and it's
type.
been a bestseller, and it's really great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, Rebecca.
Yeah.
So how long have you been writing songs?
Probably about 20 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what got you into that?
I started playing guitar when I was 9, and I started playing classical guitar when I was 9, and then slowly just became more, fell more in love with like folk music and, singer-songwriters. And so that slowly evolved into just like writing my own things, more in college and things like that. And
Where'd you live at the time when you started singing and writing songs?
I grew up outside of Milwaukee, and so then I went to college in Milwaukee. So I started writing and performing in Milwaukee when I was in college, and then moved to Chicago after that. So I was in Chicago for all my 20s and did a lot of that there. Yeah.
Is that where you consider home? Is that where your family roots are then?
Yes.
Or at least between Milwaukee and Chicago?
Yes, in Wisconsin. Yeah, it's my whole family lives in Wisconsin still. So yeah.
Mine too, Kenosha.
Really?
Yeah, all from
oh
Kenosha.
my gosh.
Yeah.
There you go. We have
Yep.
a connection.
Yeah. So let me see what else. I was going to ask you something else. I guess my question is when you left Chicago, was it to come to Lexington?
I went to Louisville first. So I was in Louisville for 3 years, and then I've just recently, in the last year and a half or so, come to Lexington.
All right.
Yeah, but I did leave Chicago for Kentucky, yes.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And what has the Kentucky experience been like for you? What do you tell your Chicago friends and Milwaukee friends about Kentucky and your experience here?
Oh, well, I do tell them that it's amazing, but I want to start to not, because I don't want them all to come here and overrun it, because it is so wonderful. I love Kentucky. It really reminds me of Wisconsin in a way, like the landscape, and just like, yeah, the people, and I really love it here. I love the weather, which a lot of times people are like, what do you mean? But when you grow up in Wisconsin and it's like winter for 9 months a year, you're like,
Oh, is
this
that the part of the
beautiful.
weather here that
Yeah,
you like?
it's
Is
beautiful.
The part that's not wintry?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. And you have a new collection of songs out. I know we've been talking about a past one, and you told me before the program that recording music. Did you say recording music is an addiction, or just music in general for you?
I think both.
Yeah.
But yeah, recording is, I think it's kind of an addiction. Yeah.
What do you like about recording? Because you produce too, right? Have you done some producing?
Yeah, I've done a little producing in the last couple years or so with my partner Tom Nato, and I like producing and I like recording. I like being in the studio. I feel like it was a scary thing for so many years. When I recorded my first EP when I was 22, and I remember going in there, especially like as somebody that wasn't, really into a lot of like computer stuff, or like, I didn't know a lot of the things, like the terms. And I remember going in and being like, this is really scary. And then like as it's evolved and like I keep doing it, I really love just like learning more and more about the technical process like of it, and sort of like learning about how music kind of pieces together as well. Like, it's almost like cooking a meal or something,
Yeah.
So I just love that.
And the producer role is sort of a big role that has a lot of, the producer plays a lot of different roles, wears a lot of different hats. What are the hats that, you're getting into the technical part of it, but what are the other sort of producer hats that you like wearing?
I like making people feel good. Like, I think that's a thing in the studio that's really hard to do. Like, a lot of people, when they're in the studio, they're nervous, they're spending a lot of money, and a lot of times they feel insecure, like I did for so many years. And I think one of the things I like the most is to just, like, make people feel, like, at home, and give them, like, that comfort in order to just like be free with their own art, so that they can like, because everyone knows, you know, it's like in your heart what you really like want your music to sound like, and I think a lot of times like you have a hard time explaining that, but if you get comfortable, it can be easier.
Yeah,
So.
I bet. And you've got experience doing that too. So you can probably remember when you went into the studio and it was kind of nerve-wracking, and maybe it's still like that for you.
Sometimes, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is for sure.
You've got some a couple more songs to play for us. Can you tell us
do.
about what's coming up? Christmas time, Christmas every time,
Yes.
Magic.
Yes, gonna play another new one, and I'm gonna invite J. Tom Nato to come up and play these songs with me.
Oh, all right.
He's gonna play a little
Hey, Tom.
pedal steel here, and this, Christmas Anytime is a new one, and then we got a couple ones, a couple oldies too.
All right.
So, yeah.
Great to have you here, Rebecca.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for talking to me.
Thank you.
All right, Rebecca Rego, folks.
Everywhere you turn, there's some sort of trap. One false step, you fall down the hatch. When I met you, I was learning to laugh. I was trying to decide if I'd ever go back. And it's Christmas every time you come in. It's secrets in the long lines of your eyes. Oh, our love doesn't know the day. Oh, our love doesn't know the time. It's been years of riding and hours of driving, but our love's still not easy to define. I wish that I could point a finger. I wish I knew whose fault it was. That everything I do is in service to you. It's a long way and hard for the blood. But it's Christmas every time you come in. It's secrets in the long lines of your eyes. Oh, our love doesn't know the rain. Oh, our love doesn't know the sky. It's been years of riding and hours of driving, but our love's still not easy to define. I wish that I could point a finger. I wish I knew whose fault it was. That everything I do is in service to you. It's a long way and hard for the blood. It's Christmas every time you come in. It's secrets in the long lines of your eyes. Oh, our love doesn't know the day. Oh, our love doesn't know the time. It's been years of riding and hours of driving, but Okay, this song is called Magic. Oh, spotlight desire. My brain is on fire. I could worry about a lot of things, but I don't worry about you. And then when we kiss, it's like we already did. I don't know if other lives exist, but if they do, I was in one with you. And even when you're gone, it doesn't matter. There's something else going on here. This love is magic. I don't take this for granted. Hard to find someone to plan with. Hard to find someone you could be your real self at all. Even if you need space, even if you need time, take all that you need. We have a whole life. Even when you're gone, it doesn't matter. There's something else going on here. This love is magic. Once I've relieved, with black holes breaking, universes shaking, I have one being that could understand me. Even when you're gone, it doesn't matter. There's something else going on here. This love is magic. Even when you're gone, it doesn't matter. There's something else going on here. This love is magic. This love is magic. I'm gonna have Robbie Cosenza come up and play a little percussion on this last tune. This last tune is called Bury My Body. Oh, bury my body underneath this spot. All the spiders in the ceiling, all the cracks in the floor. I know everything that's happened here before. He knows everything about me. I took my first drink when I was 16. Out back in the alley, it was Johnny and me. I was looking out, he was smoking by the tree. That's how the whiskey first got me. Oh, bury my body underneath this spot. All the spiders in the ceiling, all the cracks in the floor. I know everything that's happened here before. He knows everything about me. Oh, Frank and Jake, they were friends for life. No, they never ever thought they would want the same wife. There was hours of drinking when they started to fight. That's how they broke the third window from the right. Oh, bury my every other Tuesday, closing the place down with me. Oh, bury my body underneath the spine, all the spiders in the ceiling, all the cracks in the floor. I know everything that's happened here before. It knows everything about me. Well, I lost my job, and I lost my wife. My friends don't call, and my kids don't write. This is where I spend most nights, trying to forget these days. 2, 3, 4. Bury my body underneath the spine, all the spiders in the ceiling, all the cracks in the floor. I know everything that's happened here before. It knows everything about me. Oh, bury my body underneath the spine, all the spiders in the ceiling, all the cracks in the floor. I know everything that's happened here before. It knows everything about me. Oh, bury my body underneath the spine, all the spiders in the ceiling, all the cracks in the floor. I know everything that's happened here before. It knows everything about me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next week, we will be taking a live stream holiday break to catch up on all the sleep we've lost while people are blowing off fireworks outside of our windows night after night. But no, happy birthday, America. And then coming up on July 14th, we bring back Elvis-esque, who wrote that word? We bring back Elvis-esque Ashland, Kentucky singer-songwriter and martial arts champion, Troy Burchett, who will be joined by his band, The Postmen. Troy has developed a grand following in the region, and we're really glad to have him back with us. That's July 14 on Red Barn Radio, the program that's been bringing you roots music, Southern style for nearly 20 years. Now let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We come to you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. You've been listening to Rebecca Rego, and now please welcome Mason Colby to the Red Barn stage.
One, two, three, 2, 2. I buried my heart, my burning heart, down in the cold Kentucky ground. I prayed that the clay would suffocate my yearning and stop me from longing for you. Why do I always fall for your strawberry smile when I know it does me no good? You spin me around in your perfume gown. You cast my bearings to the wind. I'm out of my mind. You're just killing time. I can't come down. You're messing around. I've tried the bottle, I've tried the bed. I can't get you out of my head. Even trying makes look like a fool, and the cold Kentucky clay has caught fire. It's burning, it'll burn for 1,000 years or more. I look for comfort on some rocky foreign shore. Thank you. That was a song called Kentucky Clay. It was the first song on an EP that I put out about a year ago, a little over a year ago, that recorded with Tom Nato. And it's really nice to be able to get out and play these songs with some amazing musicians, because like I said, this came out about a year ago, and so it was launched right into the pandemic, and we never got to play it out. So this is a great opportunity. This next one is called Going First. Up second is Going First. This is a little song about when you love somebody so much you can't bear to be away from them. I had dreams in the days of our young love, of growing old with the one I adore. We said till death do us part, but though she gave me her heart, she had something a little different in store. She said, I'm going first, you have to lay me in that hearse. I can't stand it, baby, when you're not around. You're a blessing and a curse, 'cause I can't think of nothing worse than waiting around to join you in the cold, cold ground. Well, she stopped exercising, and she started drinking gin, and she drove on and on about the trouble I'd be in if I tried to go before her. She'd say suicide's a sin, and she said it all with the pearly whites and a big old pearly grin. Yeah, she'd say, I'm going first, you have to lay me in that hearse. I can't stand it, baby, when you're not around. You're a blessing and a curse, 'cause I can't think of nothing worse than waiting around to join you in the cold, cold ground. Motorcycle, and she'd ride it in the rain while texting me little notes of love's sweet refrain. She was giving me a heart attack and driving me insane. She said, hold on there, honey, you better stay in your lane, because I'm going first, you have to lay me in that hearse. I can't stand it, baby, when you're not around. You're a blessing and a curse, 'cause I can't think of nothing worse than waiting around to join you in the cold, cold ground. I can't stand it, baby, when you're not around. Thank you. All right, this next one has got a little interesting story to it. I wrote the beginning of this song, or wrote a fair amount of the lyrics, and just couldn't wrestle it into its final form, and called on a friend who is more of a rock and roller, to help me finish the lyrics, and we decided that we both had such interesting versions that we would record them separately, and we're going to release that double single in a couple of weeks as a fundraiser for the Louisville Folk School. It's called Melody Please. Please, Melody, please don't put those sunglasses on. This day has tried to kill me. It's been dragging on too long. Sunshine didn't lift me the way I thought it would. But your blue eyes, I think maybe they could. Please, Melody, please don't you break my faithful heart. I think that I could love again. I think that I could start. It feels like winter's over. I'm ready for spring. When your blue eyes, they shine on me, my little Ondine. Until this moment I was feeling so forlorn, reeling from the endless trials of being born. Until this moment I was going around the bend. You brought me back again. You brought me back again. Oh, Melody, please. Oh, Melody, please, please, please. Please, Melody, please don't put those sunglasses on. I've been wandering 3 long days, my hope is nearly gone. Then somehow found you, I nearly shed a tear. For your blue eyes, don't you dare disappear. Oh, Melody, please, please, please. 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 Thank you. All right, a little banjo retuning. If you come and there's a banjo in the band, there's going to be some retuning. I was doing this the other day, and I flashed back to like being a kid, my parents taking me to the symphony, and I always thought one of the coolest parts was that cacophony at the beginning when everyone's tuning. I always really liked that, but it's not quite as enjoyable when it's just one banjo.
It's pretty enjoyable.
All right, this next one is called Poor Thing. It's a story song, and pretty self-explanatory if you just listen to the story. Well, that night I was looking for a way out of the same old dull routine. When her eyes met mine like a match tossed into a pool of gasoline, I wished I could take her away from this dirty little scene. To get her all alone, she could be my dirty little queen. My pretty poor thing, she's a mess, I must confess. She's got me on a string. Oh, my pretty poor must confess, she's got me on a string. Oh, my pretty poor thing. Well, the way the evening started, my mind was psychedelically bliss. She showed me a few little tricks that evidently I had missed. You know, it makes me blush, think of all the places that she kissed. But she knocked me out faster with her tongue than she could with her fist. Poor thing, my pretty poor thing, she's a mess, I must confess. But she's got me on a string. Oh, my pretty poor thing. Well, I woke up tingling with the memory of the night before. But when I reached for my wallet, it was clear exactly what I'd fallen for. Turns out she was just a grifter, and I was just her latest score. And it might be sick and twisted, but man, it only made me want her more. Yeah, man, poor thing, my pretty poor thing, she's a mess, I must confess. She's got me on a string. Oh, my pretty poor thing. Oh, my pretty poor thing. Thank you.
Wonderful to have you all with us. You are listening now to Mason Colby and his ensemble here. And Mason, I thought it might be good for you to introduce our listeners to this fine band of players. You have a drummer who plays harmonica. You have a guy who not only plays pedal steel but also plays bass in an animated fashion.
It's nice when you can recruit people that are so versatile like that. I mean, it's an honor to me that they have come out to play.
Well, and to boot, I mean, there are two more people that we have to mention, which I have something fun to say about each and every one of them, which I concocted during the break. You have a guy who writes songs and plays not only a snappy acoustic guitar, but also mandolin and all other instruments known to man, Don Rogers. And then you have a fiddler who I think I've known since she was in elementary school. Maybe. Is that right, Caroline? Is that true? Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So anyway, why don't you go ahead and introduce them by first and last name?
Yeah, so over on mandolin and guitar is Don Rogers. Here on, thank you. Thank you. On fiddle is Caroline Copeland. On drums is Robbie Casenza. Woo! Drums and harmonica. And on pedal steel and bass is Mr. Tom Nato.
All right. Tom Nato, who was originally playing pedal steel with Rebecca.
Yeah, and who recorded
beautifully, by the way,
EPs that these songs are on.
All right.
Yeah.
You mean like as in the recording
The
engineer?
producer and engineer.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So Mason, tell us all about you and how did you land in Lexington?
Where to start?
Yeah, how did you land in? Well, why don't we start with how you landed in Lexington, Kentucky?
We
and
landed
from
in
where?
Lexington, Kentucky, because we were living over in Paris, France, when my first kid was born, and we wanted to move back and be closer to family. And my wife is from Cincinnati area. So she and I'm from Louisiana and Texas. So she applied to library school at UK and LSU, and UK gave her a scholarship. So we moved back to Lexington. And the idea was we would live in Lexington, and she would go to school for a couple years, and then we would move to Louisiana. And right before we were going to do that was Hurricane Katrina, and it was there was another. I think it was Hurricane Ike that went through at the same time, just devastated housing down there. There was no housing, so we just stayed in Lexington and have enjoyed it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to mention that you were living in Paris, France.
Yes, Paris,
because
France. Sorry.
because people could have
Yeah, we weren't just
could have
up the
thought
road.
Paris,
Yeah.
Kentucky. Right. So, what were you doing in France? What was going on there?
I work as a translator, so I was working as a translator over there, and luckily made enough contacts that when we moved back to the States, I could continue to work freelance. So
And you speak Spanish.
no French.
Oh, I thought
Just
you
French.
spoke Spanish too. I guess I was under the impression you spoke
Yeah.
Spanish. I didn't know about the French part.
No, yeah, just
know
just
where
French, and have managed to do that freelance ever since from here. So
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, something I didn't know. And there's probably more I don't know. So when did you get into music?
well, like you said, I grew up down in the Gulf Coast, and there's just a ton of music going on down there. So it was always around, but for some reason I never really felt inclined to play it until we moved up here, and it may have just been that my kids were born, and
So
I wanted
you needed to get away. You needed a reason to get away.
No, I wanted to
hide.
I wanted to have music around the house
Yeah.
with them growing up, and so and also being new here, I thought that playing traditional music from this place would introduce me to people who really have a deep connection with this place, and that
Yeah.
worked out really well. I've met people from here who really have taught me to love the area.
So was the banjo your gateway drug into your addiction to Kentucky music?
Yes, I was a DJ on college radio, and that's where I discovered the Bad Livers, a Texas band, vaguely related to bluegrass, but a lot of banjo. Banjo player was Danny Barnes in that band, and I've always loved his banjo playing, so that's what
Yeah. So
got me into it.
Yeah, Clawhammer, was that the first
Yeah.
banjo you ever heard?
Yeah, although when I first started, I didn't really realize the distinction. I'd never seen people play either style. So I started taking lessons from a bluegrass guy, and then went to a concert at Berea College that was the Foghorn String Band and Dirk Powell.
Oh, all right.
And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, that's the banjo I want to play.
I wonder if Foghorn was, how long ago was that, do you know?
That was
mean-
a long time ago.
You know, so like more than 10 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, because Foghorn was on this program.
Really?
Yeah, and I want to say Dirk Powell's mother came to the show.
Oh, really?
She live here?
Dirk Powell's family is from Kentucky, and I think he grew up in Ohio.
I swear Dirk Powell's mom was here.
Well,
Uh-huh.
that's a gold star
Yeah,
for you.
that was exciting. It was an exciting night. It was great music.
Yeah, he's an amazing banjo player, too.
Yeah, and you have a new collection of songs that you released as an EP, or was that a year ago?
I
that you
released
that?
the first EP about a year ago, and then the second one just a few weeks or a couple of months ago.
Okay, and what was the COVID time like? Was there a silver lining for you of the COVID
well,
cloud?
being able to record these songs was a real lifeline, a lifesaver, you know? I mean, to be able to get together safely, even with a reduced number of people. That's why, I say, like, playing with all these people on stage, this is the first time these songs have been played as a band, because they were recorded, we tracked some stuff live, but a lot of stuff was just tracked individually and then mixed. And so it's really a kick for me to get to hear these songs played with the full setup.
Yeah, well, I bet. And what have you learned in the course of this? So this is the second time you've actually been in the studio and recorded. What have you learned in the course of recording? And it was like, do you record to sort of just put a bunch of songs to rest, or do you have more your sort of aspirations to experiment and
Yeah, more to the second one.
push yourself? Yeah.
Like, I'm in the band the Jarflies, which is old time music, and we did a couple of my original songs, but I kind of, as I was conceiving them, I always heard more stuff besides just traditional instruments on it. And going in the studio with Tom, it's been really fun just to be like, ooh, and what if we did that? Put that on there. Put some of that on there.
Yeah.
The next song we have coming up is called Fire, and I was making myself coffee one morning, and the way the kettle was kind of creaking and clanking and then steaming, I was like, ooh, that would sound really cool on this song. Hey, Tom, can we do that? And he's like, yep, we can do that.
I
So
see
he's very open to my weird ideas.
Well, yeah. I mean, he seems to be a guy who gets a lot of joy out of music in every way. Do you are you involved in the community as far as music goes? It seems like you have sort of a way of connecting with people. Like I see, for instance, here tonight you invited some folks who I recognize from the Old Time Jam.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. Yeah. So I'm wondering, do you do the Old Time Jam pretty routinely, or?
No, it's Monday night is always really tough for me. And well, most evenings actually. My wife works in Bourbon County. She's a librarian there, and with the commute, I usually make dinner. So usually when the jam is going on, I'm making dinner. But I do love getting together with those guys and jamming. I do it when I can, and there's a fiddlers convention coming up in a week or two in Elliott County Fiddlers Convention. And I'm going to make it over there. I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't jammed with anybody since COVID started, really.
Well, where's that going to be?
Elliott County.
Where is Elliott County? I don't think I know.
Sandy Hook, I want to say. Or Sandy.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Don Rogers over there nodding his head.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
is that?
Yeah, it's just east of Moorhead.
Oh, okay.
Little ways.
Oh, that's Elliott. Okay, that's Elliott out there. Wow, there's a fiddle commit. Do you go to that, Don?
I have not been, but I'm hoping to go this time.
Is it a new event?
This is only the second one.
Oh,
yeah.
it is. Okay, just the
Yeah, 'cause,
second.
you know,
time
before
around.
we had the Moorhead Fiddlers or Old Time Festival.
What in the world happened to that?
They just ran into some organizational stuff, and they couldn't get it together for a couple of years. I don't know if they'll bring it back at some point.
Well, I
but
hope so.
yeah, that was always a highlight of my summer. It was a ton of fun.
Ditto. Yeah, and that was always a good event for me too. And I think that's in fact where I really probably got to know Don, between there and down at Cowan Creek.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. You and your family. I remember, Don, you always brought your family to the Fiddlers, the Moorhead event, because we have photos at home of you and your kids and my little kids and
Yeah,
running around playing
my
together.
My wife Carmen and I helped organize that festival for every year that it happened, except the last year, I think. So.
Well, let's bring it back. I think that's a great event. Yeah. So Mason, the reason I asked you if you're all involved in the community with music is because you were so artful at helping me put together this evening. Yeah, I mean, no, it was nice. I mean, I know we went back and forth a lot on phone conversations and how we're going to organize the sets and Rebecca and whatnot and someone else who couldn't come, but it was really nice the way it all came together, and it's been a really lovely night of music.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, for a little while when Willie's Locally Known was still going, I would organize some jam/concerts that were a lot of fun. We would have a really great fiddler come into town, like Bruce Molsky or Aaron Marshall, and have them do a jam with everybody, and then play a concert. And those were a lot of fun. I'd love to organize some stuff like that again in the future.
Yeah, that would be great. I was never invited to those events for some reason. I can't believe that I missed.
It's a
Bruce
very
Molsky
short
here.
list. It's an exclusive
I
club.
understand. All right, well, maybe we can touch base later on and exchange some information. Mason, it's been great to have you here. Thanks a lot, again, like I said, for helping us organize this.
No, right
Love
on.
your songs, and I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
have an opportunity to play them out on Red Barn.
Me too.
All right, welcome back, Mason Colby, folks. There will be three more.
Thanks, everybody. It's a song called
Yes.
Fire. It's about asking for some divine help and inspiration. 1, 2, 1, 2. I've been getting lazy
the fire from on high. I've been getting distracted. I've been getting distracted by the pitiful way I've acted. Send me the fire, Lord. Lord, send me the fire. Lord, send me the fire. Hallelujah, send me the fire from on high. Prometheus was bound in chains when he brought the fire down to the plain. My Lord, he sends his love as a tongue of fire on the wings of a dove. Send me the fire. Lord, send me the fire. Hallelujah, send me the fire from on high. Ain't nobody to take my hand, lead me to the promised land. Oh, there ain't nobody to take my hand, so send me the fire, Lord. Lord, send me the fire. Lord, send me the fire. Hallelujah, send me the fire from on high. Thank you. All right, got a couple. I'm going to play on this little fretless banjo. This was made by a banjo builder in Louisville named Seth Folsom, who's an amazing luthier and banjo player in his own right. This thing has a very unique sound, and when we were recording that first EP, I had the thought of pairing it with some pedal steel. And it turned out really nicely, so we're going to do a couple in that vein. All right, this first one is called Hit Too Hard. It's about trying to show kindness to each other when things are tough. Sorry. I'm gonna retune. I'm gonna check the tuning just. All right. Take two. Do you think I'm a bur oak tree, that I'm tough as chicory? Do you think I'm sufficiently scarred? Sometimes you hit too hard. Is it your lack of confidence? Are you too quick to take offense? Maybe I just catch you off guard. Sometimes you hit too sometimes you hit too hard. It's when I find myself staring at the stars out in the yard, licking my wounds. Oh, is it too soon? Blackest blows you ever land are those you take from your own hand, screaming at the child in your mind. Oh, mama, be kind. Oh, mama, be kind. You are only flesh and blood, but your source is divine. Deal yourself a better card and don't hit so hard. Do you think I'm a bur oak tree, or that I'm tough as chicory? I wish I could be.
This next one is called Lung, Teeth, and Tongue. It's kind of a meditation on the human body and how it will eventually end, and art, and trying to live through art. Lung, teeth, and tongue.
Come all you shambling mounds of flesh, imbued with the spark of life, and stomp your lower appendages to ward away your strife. Put varnish on your fingertips, put perfume on your sores. We'll make believe that spark of life will last forevermore. Would you lay me down in the meadow for the carrion beetles and the crows? Let a song burst forth from my empty chest, painted yellow and red when the chilly wind blows. That thing you do, it's killing you, it's making your insides bleed. What really tears your soul 'cause I need those squeals you hear are born in fear and raised in a filthy pen. We're headed for the killing floor. We'll jump and shout till then. Would you lay me down in the middle for the carrion beetles and the crows? Let a song burst forth from my empty chest, painted yellow and red when the chilly wind blows. They oscillate, they find their way inside. They grab a hold of a part of you, not made of flesh or hide. It's a body filled with excrement that's making your eardrums ring. But it's more than lung, than teeth and tongue. You're hearing when I sing. Would you lay me down in the meadow for the carrion beetles and the crows? Let a song burst forth from my empty chest, painted yellow and red when the chilly wind blows. I wanna be yellow and red when the chilly wind blows.
We would like to thank Mason Colby and Rebecca Rego and all the fine players who are here with us this evening on Red Barn Radio. We also thank our volunteers and staff for their help in making our production happen week to week. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube and Twitch, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. And those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV, our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36, WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. We thank LexArts President and CEO, Amy Sweetall, for helping to make the production of Red Barn Radio possible. And our website has updates for you and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, once again, please welcome back Mason Colby to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you. This one's called Odile. It's got a little bit of Louisiana French in it. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back in Brobridge, she called me 3 days later from LA. Turns out she didn't have a reason. Turns out that wasn't all she had to say. She told me I was too in love with beauty. Didn't I know that it would fade? I said my love for her was boundless, and I could dream of her 1,000 different ways. Oh dear, tell me
m'as dit c'est pas la peine, oh Dio. Oh Dio won't let me forget her. I got a postcard just the other day. It was Jean painted by Modigliani. She bought at the Musée d'Orsay. As I stared at the lover in the portrait, her empty eyes could not return my gaze. And I felt no warmth and no comfort in the fire that had set my heart ablaze. Oh dear, t'aimais, me fait pleurer. Je voulais t'espérer, oh vilaine, mais tu m'as dit c'est pas la peine, oh Dio. Oh Dio, je rêve de toi, mon cœur. Oh Dio, t'es parti bien trop loin cette fois-ci. Reviens-toi, embrasse-moi, jolie fille. Reviens-toi, embrasse-moi. Je mérite pas ça. Thank you, everybody.
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube and Twitch, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern in North America, and archive performances on Spotify and iTunes, and video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Whew, there's a lot of Red Barn Radio out there. You just got to come and get it. Be sure to check out our social media for updates to our upcoming schedules and more information on our program. And now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, it is our hope that you have a great week. Keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.